Hey, what's going on, guys? Brandon here with Texas Revving, and kind of making a last minute video. I was out at the ranch for some other stuff, and so I figured we get the Ranger out here, do a little bit of off-roading, but mostly kind of discussion because I've had this truck for about a year, maybe a little over. Slightly late to this, but better late than never. Yeah, I've had this truck for a little over a year now, and I want to make a 1 year kind of owner update. And if you guys have been following along with this channel and this truck throughout the videos I've made, nothing I say in this video will really be groundbreaking, so I figured I'd put that out there if you guys are trying to make the best use of time, but or you guys just can't get enough of this truck, and I can't blame you for that. So yeah, my 2025 Ranger Raptor, picked it up around, it was either late March or early April of 2025, so here we are in 26. I've got about 13,000, almost 13,300 miles on it. In fact, I'll cross that when I go back home. And so much of the mileage has just been day-to-day mundane stuff. So much of that has also been just hooning around off-road, in the city, out in the country. I've gotten to know this truck and its demeanors in all kinds of ways. And I'll start by saying I can't really say enough good things about it. So that's the too long didn't read version, but I kind of want to dive into it a little bit more. So if this is the first video you've ever seen of the Ranger Raptor, then I guess I'll kind of make the video for y'all. So if you are not new around here, it might be a little redundant, but again, hopefully you guys just can't get enough of this. Let's go ahead and get into it. Let's talk about a little bit of pros and cons and all that stuff. And before we even do that, let's talk about some things that I've done to the truck. And I love that this whole 1 year update will all be done off-roading, so we'll be sure to have some fun as well. All right, so real quickly, starting off with what I've done to the truck. Obviously, my mind will be a little distracted off-roading, so don't mind me if I reference my little cheat sheet. But anyway, let's go ahead and give it a nice little slide here. I'm in normal mode, rear wheel drive traction off, so it can slide the tail end out. All right, hone it down a little bit. So real quickly, what I've done to the truck, you guys may notice from the outside, I've got an ADD front bumper with 4 rigid 360 lights. I've got the 2 in the middle are like spotlights and the 2 on the side are flood. So they work pretty nicely on the included 6 auxiliary switches here. I got the spot on one, and then I got the, drive lights or whatever on the other ones. On Amazon, I got some cool American flag decals put on either side just under the mirror. I think they look kind of cool. I got a shortened antenna as well, just because the one it comes with makes it look like an RC truck, as I say a lot. What else? Ford offers black lug nuts, so I swapped out the lug nuts for some black lug nuts. I think it looks a little bit better. Last I checked, another $100 on Amazon got me the auto start stop eliminator. It's something that mounts under the glove box, so you remove the glove box. It's really easy to do. You plug something in there, and then what it does, although it's called the eliminator, it just remembers what you last did with the auto start stop. So if you just turn it off and you want it to stay off, it does that. Not totally necessary, because I didn't realize how often I'd be hitting this little R button on the steering wheel. This R mode makes it to where it remembers everything I like. So that could be the open exhaust valves, that is the steering feel the way I like it. So 9 out of 10 times I drive the truck, I end up pressing that anyway, and that will actually remember what you did with your auto start stop. So $100 you don't necessarily need to spend, but it's also nice that no matter what you do with the R button, it does remember to not keep it on. So that's about it. Other than that, I did do the Ford Performance ProCal tune. I forgot where I was mileage-wise when I did that, but in case you guys are unfamiliar, it's a tune that Ford Performance, or now Ford Racing, offers that gives you 50 more horsepower, another 106 pound-feet of torque, bringing it up to, I think, 536 pound-feet of torque, and we'll go this way, and 455 horsepower. So crazy enough, the baby Ranger Raptor's actually got more power than the F-150 EcoBoost Raptor, in a much smaller size as well. Anyway, I made videos about some of these independent things like the bumper. I made a video about the tune itself, so go ahead and get into that if you so wish, but I figured I'd at least start the video talking about what I've done to my truck. And tell you what, we'll do some nice hooning in just a little bit, but just to keep some thoughts aligned here, let's go ahead and stop it for a quick second. So let's start off with some of the negatives. When I say negatives, like no truck or car is perfect. This one certainly exceeded my expectations, but of course there are some shortcomings, and I've mentioned pretty much all of these in previous videos, so let's go through it pretty quickly. Let's go with the small gas tank. Considering it's a Ford Raptor and it's non-hybrid or none of that stuff, it's actually fairly economic on fuel. It's not too bad. I won't complain about it, but you won't be able to tell because you fill up all the time, because it's like a 20.3 gallon gas tank. It's a small gas tank. I'm always filling up. I wish I had a bigger tank for sure. It's got a vertical touchscreen. That's great, but I just feel like some things are better off left as buttons. Let's say I'm parking somewhere and I'm going slow and I want to have 360 view so I could, precisely park my truck. If I do a number like this, let's just pretend I'm parking somewhere. Do this, go into reverse, it stays there. In fact, it goes there automatically when I go in reverse. Let's say I'm not quite done yet, I go into drive and it goes away. So I have to go back, press this little tiny button. I miss it half the time, and there it goes. Not only do I wish that wasn't touchscreen, I wish it was just an actual tactile button on the top here, but I also wish it knew that I'm trying to park and I might have to go into reverse and drive a couple times, and please don't go away right when I go into drive. In summary, with all that, I just wish more things were left as buttons. I mentioned this before and I'm still annoyed by it, but you have no memory mirrors. So you have electronically controlled seats and steering wheel and all that stuff. Actually, not the steering wheel, just the seats. And you have 3 different positions there, 1, 2, and 3. But for example, when my girlfriend drives the truck, she presses button number 2, it sets the seat for her. She has to then adjust the mirrors. I get back in the truck, I press button 1, it adjusts my seat, but my mirrors don't remember like the F-150 does. That's annoying. They should have definitely put memory mirrors in there. You have no bed cam. I don't have it here, and I don't necessarily miss it too badly. And then the rest of it's very vague, and I've mentioned this in every video I've ever made comparing it with the F-150 or just reviewing this truck, is the Ranger Raptor. Although the best version of the Ranger, it is still a Ranger in Ford's eyes, and so they don't really let it have all the tactility qualities. There's no carbon fiber in here. That's just aesthetics, whatever. But just the sunglass compartment, just that plastic feeling is different. The window switches, the buttons on the steering wheel are smaller and just daintier, and they feel like thinner plastic. Nothing's broke yet, so I'm not complaining about that. It's just the touchy-feely stuff is so much nicer in even base F-150s. And so my complaint with that is I don't have a whole lot of experience with like Tacomas and Tundras, but from what I can tell, the Tacoma is just the smaller truck. It's not like the cheaper one because it's just the Tacoma. It's just a smaller truck. And I wish Ford would do that here as well. The F-150 Raptor is so nice. Just make this the smaller version. You don't have to like strip features. It's still a Bang & Olufsen sound system, and I will say, when you tune it and adjust it right, it's a great sound system, but it's not quite as good as the F-150 Raptor I have. My question's always been, why get slightly punished with quality, like little tactile features or even speakers, just because you wanted the smaller Raptor? I just wish they let it be the nicest mid-sized truck and not be so worried about competing against its own. So anyway, last con that I came up with is in storage. Now it is a mid-sized truck, so there's plenty of storage, 2 different kinds of glove boxes, a center console, overall not bad. The cubby area, cup holders, all great. It's all to do with the back. If you lift the bench up, there's no storage there except like a couple suggestions, like tiny little cubbies, versus an F-150, you can lift it and you have all this storage under the seat. Not only that, your control of the entire bench, all 3 seats are in one bench. So as an example, if you have like a child seat back there, you have to remove the child seat to even lift all that up to get to that little cubby. Versus in the F-150, it's like a 2-in-1 split. So you can always put a child seat on that one, and then you still have access to the bench lifting, little things like that. But the biggest killer for me, in the middle, where the middle passenger would be, they can't really put their feet anywhere, which not a big deal. I'm not usually traveling with more than 4 people anyway. If I want to put big objects back there and like slide them, that hump in the middle totally just robs so much storage. So that's kind of the killer. That's all the cons I came up with. If you're wondering about any issues I may have had, one thing that was so minor, and I touched on this on the second video I ever made with this truck, but on the driver's side left fender, on that little fender liner where that little flare sticks out, Ford, during the manufacturing, just put the wrong kinds of push pins. They put the kind of push pins with the hex that goes in the fender liner, but on the plastic piece on the side, it's a different kind of push pin. So they used the wrong one, so they were getting loose and falling out. First time I brought it somewhere for an oil change at a local dealership, they happen to have those push pins in stock, put them in there, hasn't had a problem since, and it was only that one fender thing. Never came loose, just those pins were the wrong ones, so they were coming loose on their own, but the fender never did come loose. That's the only issue I had, and we resolved that right away. Otherwise, everything else I have to say about this truck in this video is all positive, so let's go ahead and get to that. Let's just cruise right through it, because I've said this so many times, but the size of this truck, on and off-road, just day-to-day living with it, parking in your garage, garages, parking garages downtown, wherever, I'm never burdened by this size. The size of this truck is so nice. It's comfortable, I feel safe in it, yet whenever I'm just parking, again, in my garage, or hooning out here, just off-road, the size just feels right. It is just such a great size truck, especially coming from full-size F-150 Raptors all the time. This is just this fun aspect you don't expect because of the size of it. Something I didn't expect to like, but advanced cruise control, sure enough. Sometimes cruise controls, you have to press something, set your speed, say okay. Are you sure you're saying okay? Yes. Here, you just press one button and it starts cruise control and lane keep assist. And then advanced cruise control will give you a little icon that it steers itself and everything. You do have to tug the steering wheel every now and then to remind it that you're awake and everything, but it's a feature that makes longer drives a little easier than I would have ever thought. And so the F-150 Raptor has it, so does this. Works pretty well. Although I complained about some storage back there, as far as passengers, for a mid-size truck, it's some of the best. So that's pretty darn nice. Decent MPGs. I've been hooning a lot, so it's probably not going to reflect too well right now, maybe 16 or 17 miles to the gallon. But if you really are trying to get on your best behavior, you'll be in the low 20s. And in my opinion, for a fun truck like this, it's really not too bad. Totally stock, and then with the Ford Performance Tune, either way, it actually had pretty good power and torque, especially down low. It comes with 33s from the factory, these KO3s. A lot of people try to change them out. A lot of people go into 35s. Proportionally, the looks, I like the 33s, and the way they get spun up, they're just very, very peppy here. So I'm not going to change out the tires, especially in a mode like just rear-wheel drive, traction off. It's just so fun. So we'll get to that in just a little bit here. That's the other stuff I wrote down, though. Just stupid fun. The kind of fun that, like, it was really hard to contain myself. When I first drove this from the dealership, I was breaking it in. It was brand new. I just had the urge to drive off the road and just go under these underpasses and bridges right into a creek. Like, it just had this demeanor of grabbing it by the scruff of its neck, like I said in the first couple of videos with this truck. And boy, was I right, because I was patient. I let it break in, got a service, and when I just started hooning off-road, I mean, it was like begging for it. So that's the kind of fun this truck has. And dare I say, if you find yourself on the road with traction off and rear-wheel drive, because it's a truck and there's not a lot of weight in the rear relatively, it's pretty easy to, you know, slide the tail end out even on a dry day. So in the rain, it's like a little rally car, but it's a little mid-sized truck, so it's pretty cool. Another pro, this is kind of more of a mundane thing, but here in Texas, super well appreciated, but very, very strong air conditioning. I got it on fan speed 1, temperature low, and it's blasting in here super nice. Even in the summer, no complaints. It's pretty darn nice. Enough of reading about it. Let's drive a little bit more and mix in a little bit of point of view drive stuff as well, but I'm not in Baja mode. Like I said, normal, traction off, and rear wheel drive. It's been a lot of fun. Now, if you guys are unfamiliar with like the Raptor type of Fox suspension, it rewards you going over obstacles faster. Otherwise, it just crawls over things. It doesn't feel much different. But here, that was only 30 miles an hour, but that's such a like aggressive bump, and it just glides over it. And I've said it a million times, and it's still true. But this is really like a road going side by side. So easy to pitch it in. No threat of it like tilting. You have to hit some really bad obstacle to get this thing to come off its tires. Even though it's not wide enough to warrant the legal, you know, amber lights that look cool, it's plenty wide enough to feel very planted and not sketchy. Even when I tossed the, you know, ass into the truck out by that angle, super confident. I never thought to myself, oh no, I think I'm about to flip. Not even once. Just ridiculous amounts of fun, man. It's the truck that, to be honest, is fun because you really shouldn't take it too seriously. You're not getting this to be the fastest guy around, and it's the Ranger Raptor. So many people sleep on this truck, and they really end up getting, dare I say, the F-150 Raptor. If you need the extra size and the towing capacity of a, you know, F-150, then go for it. I totally understand. But so many people find themselves in an F-150 that I think would have possibly been happier in something like this. Forget the difference in price as well. Pretty aggressive bump here. No problem at all. So fun. This little 3-liter twin-turbo V6 shared in the Bronco Raptor, before tune or even after the tune. It's a pretty lively engine. Do I wish I had a V8? Yeah, that'd be pretty fun. But when I'm doing this, I kind of forget about it. I mean, just a total rally car that's disguised as a mid-sized truck, but then you get on the road and it does all the useful mid-sized truck things. Yeah, it's been hard to complain about this thing. Let's go rip around a little bit more. funny, I'm a huge car guy, if you couldn't tell from the rest of the content on this channel. Love cars, love road cars. But when you got these cars that have such high performance, it's so hard to like get that performance on the road. And so if you have access to a Raptor and have access to property like this or any kind of like Raptor event, you can get so much more out of it, and you feel really, I don't know, fulfilled by it in a way that's hard to explain. But this is the car guy's truck, in my opinion. No one's really talking about that. I will say this, if you get one of these and never off-road it, you will still, in my opinion, enjoy the heck out of it as a mid-sized truck. It kind of does feel a little sports car-esque sometimes, but once you go off-road, it just unlocks this new character that really is what this truck's made to do. So that's a quick look at it anyway. 1 year with the Ranger Raptor, zero regrets, absolutely loving it. However, if they do make a Ranger Raptor R with the V8, I'll be all ears. But anyway, that does it for this video. Thanks so much for watching. See you guys next time.